Hi, babies. Hi. 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 Hello, cuties, darlings, sweetie pies, schnookums. Hi. This is a general message, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Also, please use your own discernment. Just please do that for me. For me, please. These messages are timeless. So whenever you find it, it's the right time. Okay, so I got a little story time. Fun fact, so I had to share this because I was drawn to put this perfume on. I'm really into those niche fragrances that are unisex, so anybody can wear them. This is Cowboy Grass. It's funny because it's mostly this sage scent, and the shitty low vibe people in my okay, shitty's mean. Lower vibrational people in my, that I go around will complain about that perfume, and I'm like, I wonder why, bitch. I wonder why. I just had to share that with you. And, you just need to know what I smell like, right? So, fun story. And I'll get into the song and all that, but I've been just dragging ass lately, and I'm like, okay, there's something I'm not looking at. And I was getting breakouts in weird spots, and it was associated with a female or something, and I'm just well, who am I having problems with? I don't understand. And then finally today it was shown to me that there's an individual in my circle, or that I see regularly and I interact with, that was triggering a mother wound, a wound, my mommy problems, and what it was is okay, let me just get into it. It's embarrassing to say, but it might be helpful to hear that I even fall back onto this really weird teenager stuff. I would used to get into fights a lot. I had a really bad temper, and since that always got me in trouble, in high school and when I was a teenager, that type of stuff. And then I got a boxer's fracture, so I learned that I just instead I'd get in, and then I would start punching walls and stuff, and so I was just an angry teenager, and so I learned to start just to punch my legs to get that frustration out. And that happened to me today. I was just getting so frustrated and mad at this individual that was triggering my mommy wounds that I fell back into that, and it took me right back to this moment. There was a couple moments that it reminded me of. One, and I'll get into what this individual did as well, but my mom would, I've always had these intuitive abilities. I could, sense things. I was very empathic, psychic, that type of shit. I've always been like that. And I knew when my mom was lying, and it would frustrate me because I'm like, dude, I know you're fucking lying. Why are you still lying? And so one of the moments, my mom was just getting at me and blaming me for things. And so I would get so frustrated because I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I didn't do that. Because I was always, and I'll get into the other story. So I'd get so mad that I would just start having to punch myself, because that was at the point where I learned if I punched anything, I would get in trouble, or, my hand would just blow up from that old boxer's fracture. And then there was another time where my dad was very harsh on me, with punishment. And my mom left my dad was very strict about his vehicles. He always wanted it nice and clean. You don't leave food, you don't eat in the vehicles, they're very clean. And my mom left a donut on the floor, and it the icing melted off of it because it was hot outside, and it got all over. And my dad asked if it was me, and I was like, no, it wasn't. And, he asked my mom, and she was like, no, it was me, it was her. Like, so she blamed me. And so since my dad thought I was lying, he like started beating my ass. And my mom like watched. And I was like screaming like it wasn't me. Like I didn't do it. And so he thought I was still lying while I was getting my ass beat. So it like got more and more intense. Like he was just like, you can't be lying. Like that's not okay. And this is how much of a narcissist my mom is, that she just sat there watching like emotionless. Like I'm just like, you lying ass bitch. Like you're like, I was like, just, yeah, it was not good. Cause like, my dad was big on like, not lying. I mean, it was probably like way too, it was obviously too much punishment for what it was. But since he thought I was lying, it like got more and more intense, and he thought I was still lying while I was getting my ass beat. And my mom's just like watching me get my ass beat. So I had it triggered this, this person, in my circle now just recently, straight up lied to me, and I've given them many opportunities to like, several opportunities to come clean. Like, I gave little hints and like, cause I didn't want to, I try not to always be the aggressor cause that I can be in my shadow sometimes with that. I can be very intense with that. So I'm trying to be like less, and it's something that's so silly. Like it doesn't need to be that way. For this situation anyway, I just didn't feel the need to be like, call them straight out. And, I can't prove it other than that I'm like, a psychic and intuitive, and I'm just a human lie detector. So I just know that this person's lying to me. And I mean, I'd like, thank you, person, for helping me release some of my mommy wounds today. I appreciate it. I hope you choose the honorable path and get off your ant pile, possibly your second ant pile. But on that, I'm grateful that that happened, because I didn't know that I was still holding on to that. I've thought about those moments and, talked about it with therapists, that type of thing, like, with friends and other things. And I've just thought on it like, yeah, my mom's a narcissist. Like she, whatever. I had very like, and just that acceptance, but apparently there was more to be healed there. And I'm grateful for that person, bringing that out. Yes, it was like, it just bothered me, because I'm like, bitch, I know you're lying. Stop. Like, come on. But I can't, I learned, and I know this, like, I can't make somebody tell the truth. I can't make a person walk the honorable path. I can't. Even if there's, some weird fear or whatever, and, I could try to like make it easy for them to approach me with the truth, I can't make them, you can lead somebody to water, but you can't make them drink. So, and I know now that that's just their free will, and I have to accept that. And I thank that person for pointing out that I had some mommy issues I had to work through. It is what it is. So, and on that, like I noticed, with being just exhausted and feeling that there was something up, like I'm holding on to something. I had like a lot of stagnation in my body. I felt that like my legs were like swelling a lot more when I was like standing, like say if I was standing on a ladder for a long time at work, my legs would swell from that. And so I just noticed that. I'm like, where is the stagnancy coming from? And it was because I was holding on to that. My body was telling me, hey, there's something you're holding on to. It's time to let it go. And it finally came to me when I had a full-blown like I regressed into my angry teenage state and started punching things. And I was like, oh, okay, because I was just like so mad. I was like, because I try to see things from what that other person is thinking, and I'm like, dude, why? Like, I don't understand, like, why? And I just kept like asking that, like trying to understand, because usually I can get the answer, but there was some blockage, and that blockage showed me where it needed to take me there. That needed to happen to take me to that spot to release this. I was intense. But I feel better. I had to like just get pissed. And like I knew it was coming because I just like throughout this week weird little things were happening. Like I got like the worst burns I've had ever, just like everywhere. My favorite is like when a little spark when you're welding like gets in your boot somehow, but it doesn't get, you know, like you're like, how did it get in there? And then it bounces around on the top of your foot. So you have like several burns. Like just little things like that kept happening. And I'm like, it was just like those weird anomalies. You're like, how did it, there's not even a hole in my jeans. Like, where did you get in? Or I dumped my coffee all over the wall this morning walking down my stairs. And I was just like, you know, I kept like running into things. I was late to work and I was just like, just slowly getting more and more agitated. So if those things are happening to you, there's something it's meant to trigger this thing that you're holding on to that you haven't looked at yet. And it needed to be released. Like, so if you're doing a lot of work and there's like, you know, you're in the right spot, you're doing the work on the right area of you, like it's concentrated. I guess that's the best way to put it, like the way I see it anyway. These little things, like I smashed my finger with a hammer, like these weird things that I don't usually do, because I'm usually very graceful with like, and just pay attention. I'm very present when I'm working and stuff like that, and you know, going up and down the stairs. But just like things were happening, I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it was all meant to bring that out. It was meant to frustrate me, because I went and got a little tattoo to show that I'm, you know, just in case you didn't know, I'm biker trash. Now you really know. That usually that's backside doesn't hurt at all for me, and it was just like getting raw, and I was like, man, what the hell? Like, and I was getting all emotional during the tattoo, and I was talking with my sister about it, and I was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, it like releases stuff. Like, I'm like, hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah. So it all happened ever so perfectly. Like I needed these things to like agitate that part of me to where I could get to that point to just like, where I was just fucking just like, oh, I was so fucking mad. I was like, I need to punch something. Like I had just that anger. I'm like, cause I was so frustrated, cause I was like, I couldn't get the answer. Like usually my intuition can give me the answer. And I'd be like, okay, I understand where that person's coming from, but I couldn't this time. And it was meant to show me, like, it was meant to take me back to that. So if that stuff is happening to you, that's what's going on. So let it agitate you and take you back to that moment, this reminder, and then be like, oh, that's what I need to release. Okay. Well then, well shit. Well shit. Okay. Sure thing. Let me pull one card on this. I think I want to just end this, keep this a shorty, and then make another one. Just to keep it more concentrated on what we're talking about, and then we'll go into something else, huh? So on this, if this happens to you, you choose every piece of content you consume. So, you know, with my story today, you know, that's my choice to interact with these people or like try to figure them out. Like, do I really need to? Or, here, let me get one more on that to kind of add to that. The thinking mind acts like it's everything, but it's not. So that's kind of like a reminder that you aren't your thoughts, and you can choose to consume which thoughts you want. So that's like the positive thoughts or the negative thoughts, or, you know, these frustrated thoughts, or, you know, these old patterns from growing up and your parents being, you know, whatever, your family being whatever, or, you know, they were just like assholes yesterday, whatever. You get to choose. So just like in this picture, like there's, you know, this part that could be maybe sexualized, like the little screen, you know, it could be perceived as negative or positive, like however you want to see it. I kind of see that also as like, if you're having insecurities about your body, you can, I know that's kind of weird, but like you can, these things that you feel insecure about, you could like flip it and like sexualize it if you want. Like be like, damn, I bet there's some weird little freaks out there that are into this, you know, like be in, you know, turn it into that instead of just clinging to this and like obsessing and be like looking in the mirror and be like, oh, I don't like that, like, oh, you know, whatever you feel, or it might just be a part of your existence, like how you think or something, or like no one's ever gonna like this about me or whatever. There's something for everybody, you know, and that's more of just the enemies talking to you to keep you separate and keep you from, you know, loving yourself, taking care of yourself, being part of a community, and, you know, still raising in vibration, because the more you love yourself and have confidence in yourself, that's more raising in vibration. And, you know, no one can mess with you, no one can touch you, no one can make you falter or fall off center with their words or their actions or anything of that sort. And you can become less affected by the weird things that people try to project on you, and it's just a happier life. Just because they put a square on your head doesn't mean you're not still in school. That's kind of just going back to my story I shared with you. I thought I was done. I thought I like moved past that wounding from my mom, but apparently not. It still needed to be looked at. So that's just a reminder of like, you know, if you get this like weird little like flashback of something that happened or whatever, or you're triggered by your parent or, you know, whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I thought that I was done with that. That might still need to be looked at. And that's just a little reminder. Who cares if we become nothing? We were all once nothing. If somebody's feeling like you're not doing enough right now, you're doing enough. And if you're afraid of failure, dude, you really just, life's a game. You really can't mess it up. I mean, unless you murder somebody, but even then, like, that's on you. Like, it's still, you have free will and you can do whatever you want. Obviously, you know, there's gonna be repercussions if you do some crazy shit, but you can literally be ungovernable. Be ungovernable. Be chaotic. Be in love with the parts that once, you know, someone told you wasn't attractive, and be like, damn, I got a kink for this now. Fuck yeah. I only want to see this. Okay, babies, I love you so much. You're all so hot, so attractive, and I hope my little story helps you reach some healing that you need to heal, and it's okay to fall back into those cringy habits, if you will. All right, babes, I love you so much. Bye.